We're looking at a A.K.A. Tascam 12-channel inline mixing console that was recently picked up in Southern California, and we're going to take a tour of its external control features. And so we'll go ahead and get started. As I said, it's a 12-channel inline mixing console. The model number is unknown. This board was picked up by a gentleman in Southern California at a garage sale for free. There is no power supply. It requires an external multi-rail power supply. And it became too big a project for him, and so he put it up for grabs, and I'm the one that grabbed it. So first of all, you can see in the meter bridge that there are 14 VU meters. There is one for each channel strip, and then there's a pair for the stereo master bus. And each channel strip features a number of things. Start up at the top with a meter source select switch. It's either set to monitor the input, the program bus, or the monitor input for that particular channel, the monitor bus. Inputs are source selectable to be the microphone, line 1 or line 2, and then each mic input has individual phantom power, phase reverse, 30 dB pad. Nice thing here is that each of these 3 inputs have individual trim knobs. You have a single pot here for the mic and a stack pot for line 1 and line 2. Right over here we have the program groups or program bus. There are 8 subgroups with a mute, channel mute, and a bus master pot and a pan knob. And there's been some confusion, and I'm not sure yet how this works, because each channel, each input module on the back has a bus input and the bus out. And so the question is, since there are no other bus or program outs, if the bus outs function for the 8 groups just on channel strips 1 through 8. And so that's been suggested as the potential. And of course we won't know until we can get this thing powered up. And then also what exactly this pan knob does, because each channel strip also features a pan knob, and it says stereo pan, and so the assumption is that that's a direct pan to the stereo master fader. So anyway, some of those things remain to be seen. Moving next to the equalizer section, which is also pretty feature rich. Each of the 12 channels has a low pass filter and 2 high pass filters. Low pass filter point, cutoff point is at 12.5 kilohertz, and the 2 high pass filters are at 160 and 50 hertz, and there's a bypass switch. And then there's also a switch to dump the EQ section over to the monitor bus. And I'm assuming that that takes it out of the main signal path, so the engineer can monitor what's happening with the EQ without having it affect the main signal path. The EQ section is 4 bands. The high and low bands are swept. The high band from 2.5K to 15K, and the low band from 40 to 400 hertz. And I'm not sure if they are peaking or if they are shelving. If it's anything like the PE40 by Tascam, they would all be peaking filters. But nonetheless, the high and low bands have individual boost cut controls and frequency select knobs. The 2 mid bands are fully parametric with gain controls and then frequency select on the top of the stacked pot and Q controls on the lower of the stacked pot. The mid band, the upper mid band is 1K to 7.5K, and the low mid band is 200 Hertz to 2 kilohertz. In the aux section, we have a total of 4 auxes, and they are in pairs, switchable pre-post in pairs. They can source the input or the monitor bus in pairs, and we'll get to the monitor bus in a moment, or the line 2 input, which I believe it's a minus 10 dBV RCA jack input on all 12 channel strips, and so I believe that that's been designed to be your tape returns, so you can send those to the aux bus and set up Q mixes with that. And then they have mute controls in pairs. Oddly enough, the aux1-2 bus features a level and a pan as though it were set up as a stereo bus, and the aux3-4 group features individual level controls, aux3 level, aux4 level. The odd thing is that there are no aux master controls over in the master section, nor are there aux out jacks, unless, and this is possible, that the first 8 channels are program bus controls and 9 through 12 are aux master controls. That would be really nifty. I have no idea yet. I may be able to find that out by examining the internals, or we'll just find out when the day comes that we get it powered up. Moving now down to the monitor bus, we have 4 possible input sources for the monitor bus on radio button switch rack. You can either monitor the input that's been selected up here, or line 1 or line 2 or the program bus. We have a switch to dump the monitor bus direct to the stereo bus per channel, and then we also have this remote button, and I'm not totally sure about that yet. Each channel strip features a remote section switch rack down here by the channel fader, which has an enable button and radio select buttons for either remote A or remote B. I don't know for sure yet. I'm thinking that may relate to this over here in the master section, where you have a group A section and a group B section, and you've got input source select switches for those. They are either off, or they are sourcing the mic, or line 1 or line 2, and then they've got their own mute switches as well. So what I'm thinking at this point possibly is that, let's say group A is sourcing the mic inputs, and then at any channel strip, if we select remote A and enable, then this fader is now a group master fader for all of the mic inputs, pre-fader. But I don't know that yet either, and we'll find out. Nonetheless, it seems that whatever is sourced here can also be brought up to your monitor bus, and then, as I said before, that can be sent over to the stereo bus or what have you. So, and then it's a stereo monitor bus, of course, so you've got a level control and a pan control. I mentioned earlier about the stereo pan, which I'm assuming dumps straight on over to the stereo bus. And then in the solo and mute section, we've got a lot of stuff going on there, not all of which I've figured out yet. You have a mute to the stereo bus, you have a master mute, you can solo the monitor bus, you can solo the program bus, you also have a pre-fade listen, and you have a monitor mute. And then we have these 2 buttons over here, just labeled ST and PGM. So I'm not sure how those work yet, but they do have they're diagrammatically linked to these solo buttons over here. So, and then each of the 12 channels has a 100mm long throw fader, and that's the input module. We're going to go ahead and next we'll talk about the master module.